I'm going to assume that if you are watching this right now, you are a woman and you're smart, you're successful, you love God, and you've done at least some form of inner work and self-development, uh, therapy, journaling, reading books, listening to podcasts, all of that. And despite doing that work, you keep attracting men who do not show up for you. You keep attracting men who are emotionally unavailable, who are inconsistent, and who put you in situations that are confusing, right? And you're probably wondering, what is it about me? What is it that I am doing wrong? If all of these things are true, then I want you to keep watching because we're going to talk about why it is that you keep attracting emotionally unavailable men. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Keisha Rice. I am a dating coach. I'm also a hypnotherapist. I help women learn how to heal from their unhealthy relationship patterns and to attract healthy, cherished love. And I'm going to talk about why this keeps happening, the whole attracting unavailable partners, and how you finally shift that and to create patterns that allow you to stop wasting time and stop wasting your energy. So, I want to make one thing very clear. You're not broken, right? There's nothing wrong with you. And you're not too much. This is not your fault. I want to be clear about that because there's so much trash on the internet right now that is whenever a woman ends up in a bad relationship is, oh my goodness, if she had just chosen better, she wouldn't be in this situation. She just needs to pick better. She needs to just stop settling. All of this, frankly, BS. And here's the thing. You've done the things that you were told to do, right? You were told to pray. You were told to be patient, to um, be simple, to be low maintenance, to be chill, and that God will send the right man because, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing, right? So you're supposed to just sit there, look pretty, and wait to be found, right? No one's taught you, though, that in order to be in a healthy, happy relationship, it requires emotional availability. It requires you to understand your attachment patterns, and it requires you to understand how your subconscious mind works. And that our subconscious is always going to be attracted to what feels familiar, whether that familiarity is healthy or not. So, if you grew up in an environment where maybe your parents weren't the most emotionally available, um, or if you found yourself in situations later on with friends or even in your career with people who weren't very available or attuned to what it is that you needed in friendship or what it was that you needed, mentorship wise in order to advance in your career, all of those things, then even though you really want peace, you might even crave peace, your nervous system is still very much attached to chaos. And that is the thing that we need to break. Okay. So here's why, again, you are struggling to attract men who are emotionally available. First thing is you're still trying to earn love. You think that love is something that if you work hard enough, you'll get it. This is especially difficult for women who are very independent and successful because that is how everything else in your life has worked, right? You studied a certain amount of time in school, you got good grades on the test. You spent a certain amount of time in school, you graduated. You did all of these things to go after a job, you got the job. You do all these things to get the promotion, you get the promotion. You're not happy with your body, so you start looking up ways to lose weight. You do those things, you lose weight, right? Everything else in your life has come from, if I put in X amount of work, I know that I can get Y output. Not that difficult. And more importantly, again, back to the way that you grew up. If love was inconsistent growing up, you probably developed some people pleasing tendencies because you probably started to realize that you could please your parents or guardians, whoever raised you. You could please them more by doing certain behaviors or having certain accomplishments. And this is natural because think about it, when we are children, we don't have very many defenses, right? We are very dependent on our parents to take care of us and to provide for us. So because there's so little in our environments that we can control, we start to learn what we can control. We learn that if I get good grades, my parents will be proud of me and take me to get ice cream or whatever. So we start developing that habit very early of, okay, if I do these things, then I get some form of love. And not realizing that then you go into the adult world and you're trying to attract a healthy romantic relationship. And that's not how relationships work. The second reason why you're attracting men who are emotionally unavailable is that you're not available to someone who is available. This is going to sound confusing. I promise I'm going to break it down. But you're emotionally available to people who are unavailable because you're open to relationships, you're ready for relationships, you're loving, but you only show those behaviors to men who can't meet that. You only show those behaviors to men who are projects. You date for potential, right? And there's a part of you that believes that in order to get love, you have to prove it. So you have to, again, put in this work and show and help someone and completely change their life and everything. And then you will have earned the right for them to love you back. You don't believe that love can be given freely from someone who's already healthy, who's already emotionally available. And the third reason why you attract emotionally unavailable men is because you confuse chemistry and compatibility. This is one of my personal biggest pet peeves is that when I work with women, they place such an emphasis on chemistry. Back to this idea of we are attracted to what is familiar. Oftentimes, when there's a lot of chemistry just right off the bat in a relationship, it is because your trauma is attracted to their trauma, right? And I see so many women chasing after that feeling of butterflies in their stomach. And I just want to say, girl, sometimes those butterflies are not butterflies, they're actually roaches. Stop, for the love of God, please stop chasing after chemistry because that whole spark, that feeling that you've known someone for forever is yes, you are very familiar with their toxicity because you had toxicity in the early part of your life. And that's not what you want. That is not your spirit recognizing your future husband. That is your spirit recognizing someone who triggers all the things that triggered you in your childhood. So here's what you need to do in order to move past that and to finally attract healthy and sustainable love. You're going to heal the part of yourself that is constantly begging for crumbs, right? And you're not going to settle for anything less than full meal. You're going to start building more trust in yourself. You're going to stop ignoring red flags. And you're going to learn how to spot when someone is truly available, not just when you're attracted to someone. Because again, we can't always necessarily trust our attraction. And the biggest thing here is you are going to become a receiver of love and believe in the ability to receive it freely. You're going to stop trying to be a fixer. You're going to stop trying to be an emotional rehab for broken people, not just romantic relationships. I always tell my clients that all relationships are related. If you show me a woman who has issues with romantic relationships, she has issues with family, friends, coworkers, clients, all of that. So you are also going to stop being an emotional rehab to your family, to your friends as well. Okay. And you're going to stop thinking this whole crazy idea of if you're patient enough, maybe somebody's going to magically change. Doesn't happen. One thing that my grandmother used to always say to me is that God is not the author of confusion or chaos. Um, an emotionally available love is not going to confuse you. It feels grounded. It feels calm. It feels safe. This is something else I notice when a woman has a habit of being in unhealthy relationships for a long period of time, healthy love feels a little bit boring. And it's not because there's anything wrong with the relationship or anything wrong with the man, but if you are used to a roller coaster, then of course, when someone is safe and grounded, they're not going to bring in all that drama that you've been getting before and that you've been confusing as love. They're not going to give you the roaches in your stomach that you're used to getting every time you end up in something that's dysfunctional, right? So if this is resonating with you, it's because you're finally reaching a level of awareness and you are ready to ditch the crazy in your life. You're done with dating potential and you're ready to actually be with someone who is on your level, who's doing the work that you're doing, and who is as available as you are. And if that's the case, I would love to work with you one on one. My coaching program is called From Toxic to Thriving. It is 12 weeks and it's all about breaking these unhealthy patterns, learning your self worth, and learning how to date with discernment. So I will have a link in the description to book a call with me and we can talk about what it looks like further to work together and to attract someone who's aligned with your faith and your values and your future. So, till the next time, don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend if you think that there's someone in your life who would find it helpful. And just know that you don't have to settle for less. You don't have to second guess. You don't have to live in a constant state of confusion. I will talk to you soon. Love you so much. Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by Contessa Digital.